Okay. Hi, YouTube. This is my second video, and I've been like debating for like 2 weeks what I was gonna make my video on. I actually have a slideshow that I was gonna use as my second video that I'm making about SED, but it is not ready yet, and it's gonna take longer than I expected. I'm hoping it's good. I'm trying to get my point across, what I'm trying to say in the video. So, it takes time. But, surprisingly, I'm a good writer, though. So, should be okay. But, so my next video, lately, just the past few days, I've been thinking about, well, after I failed my freshman year of college, because of procrastination, SED, all that, fear of failure, I was through with college for a while. Well, my cousins had gone to this program called Job Corps. So I decided I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go. It sounded promising, you know. They give you a career, something that I could work from. I could work in that particular, get a certification where I could be hired in this career and be paid more. That way I could save for college. That was my plan. If I didn't go to what they had, also they had, after you got a skill, which was your career certification, you could go on to an advanced training if you wanted to, and that was college. The government paid for your college, basically, and living expenses. Not a bad deal, So, I'm gonna do it. Well, lately I've been thinking about my experience there. At the time that I went, this was, August of 2011. The day after my 20th birthday. I took my first flight all the way up to Kentucky. I'm in the south part of the United States. I'm not gonna tell you where, but, quite southern. But, so that was quite a distance. I had never been on a plane. I'd never, left my parents for as long as I was going to. But I went there with every intention of succeeding. I'm gonna have to try to talk louder, because last time I wasn't as loud as I'd like to have been. It was kind of hard to understand what I was saying. Sometimes I slur my words, because I'm trying to talk too fast, or, get anxious. So excuse me on that. But, so I went to Job Corps, and I don't want this video to be like, don't go to Job Corps. It's a terrible place. I mean, it can be good, but it's not gonna be without much grief. To me, and to a lot of people, it was a prison, to say it nicely. Yeah, we got out. They fed us. They didn't lock us up in chains or in a jail cell. They told you what you could do and when you could do it. What time you go to bed, what time you get up, what time you go to breakfast and you're out of the dorm. You have to clean in the morning and at night. The exact same thing you cleaned that morning, you have to clean that night. Dust, clean the sink, the shower, sweep and mop the floors. And then you had, unless you were a room captain, which is the person that's in charge of that particular dorm room. I actually ended up being one of those, surprisingly enough. I volunteered for it, and I'm proud of myself for doing that. But I'll explain that later. It was rough. But, I mean, they told you when you could go to bed, and you couldn't go to bed any sooner than that. You got 7 hours and 45 minutes of sleep. By the time you walked in your room, slapped yourself on your mattress, 7 hours, 45 minutes. That was the maximum that you could get. 8 hours if you slept a little later. It takes me like 20 minutes to fall asleep, at least. I need more sleep than that. You know, I needed at least 8 hours, plus like 20-30 minutes to fall asleep, and to be in a good sleep. I'm also a very light sleeper. One of my roommates, she didn't like me. Don't know why. She claimed it was because I complained when I got there. Like I said, they were very controlling of what you could and couldn't do. There was a lot of rules. Nothing I was not used to. I wasn't used to the things that they put us through. I mean, you had to have a complete physical and everything when you first got there, and all that. Drug classes. They taught you how to make a resume. You had to do CAF duty. I'm trying to make this video short. I want to tell you a lot more. I'm probably gonna have a part 2, but just lately I've been thinking about my experience there. It ended badly. I left after 3 months. I'm not gonna cry. At the time I was there, I did not know I had SAD. I knew there was something wrong, and I was more quiet than other people, and I wondered what was wrong. But I didn't know. So you can imagine, I mean, I know all of you have discovered eventually that you have it. And when you don't know, it's a very lost, and you're still lost after that. And there's a coping period. Like, okay, I have this. Now what? And there's anger and just, like, rip down your walls. Anger. And if you've had this through school, you know how hard school was. So, I go into this, fighting. I'm going into this. I'm going to do this. I didn't have a bad attitude. But the crap they put me through. Well, okay, you gotta go to Walmart every 2 weeks. I'm gonna tell you how I ended up leaving. You gotta go to Walmart every 2 weeks. If you had done something bad or whatever, you weren't able to go. But I got to go. I never did anything wrong or anything like that can prevent me from going. I got in more trouble there than I've ever gotten into, and it wasn't because I tried to get in trouble. But, everybody wanted to go to Walmart because that was pretty much the only time you got off of campus. You weren't allowed to have a car, which I can't drive anyway yet. I don't have my operators. I have my permit. I don't have a car. Well, at the time I didn't. No, actually, my cousin gave me her car, which is pretty cool. I'm excited I got it today. It's really pretty. But, it's going to be really expensive to get it up and running and all that, though. Needs a tune-up, and I have to pay like $600 and something to get the title, switch over, and the tag, and all that. But, anyway. So, I'm standing in the line. You know, a lot of people want to go. So, there's a long line to get on the bus. We have, they had a bus that they take people places in. Take, the students there. And so I'm waiting in this really incredibly long line. It's really cold. And another thing, part of what I didn't like at Job Corps, a lot of cussing. And the majority of people smoked. And whether you wanted to smell it or not, didn't matter. Didn't really want to have my lungs rot out, I have a choice whether I want to breathe that or not. If I wanted to breathe that, I would smoke. They would smoke all up in your, junk. They didn't care. That bothered me a lot, that I was being exposed to that. And I had roommates that smoked. And they don't, they smell like it. And there's this thing called third-hand smoke. And the chemicals come up off their clothes into the air. I didn't want to smell that. It bothered me. Like, it was this, I know this might sound ridiculous, but it was this feeling like, what is this doing to me? What is this doing to my